Howdy, howdy, everyone. It's Lindsay Lou here. I recently was told, why go on camera? And I don't know why I'm going on camera. I don't need to go on camera to um, prove anything, to show off my looks or anything. It's not like people like Lovely Sty pointed out, after I pointed out beauty's in the eye of the beholder, that uh look at Lindsay. She's not that attractive looking, but her beauty is in her intelligence. Now, I beg to differ. There's lots of people that find me attractive. I myself am attractive. I am beautiful. I think I am. Just because I have scars on me doesn't mean that I don't love myself. Doesn't mean that I think that I hate myself. I am self-harmer because of entirely different things, not because I hate my body. Has nothing to do with my body. So all you motherfuckers that think that you know me, shut the fuck up. I know me the best. Stop being judgeful, motherfuckers. Now, conversations are more. I was talking to Bunto, and he said, Lindsay, why don't you make more hangouts? We miss you. I miss you motherfuckers too. So I made a hangout today, and that's what I'm gonna do. So, can you be a theist and not a douche? Yes, because I am a theist and I am not a douche. I do not shove my faith down anyone's throat. I do believe in God, but I do not have an affiliation to any religion. Though I have made claims that I am leaning toward Catholicism, I have not proceeded into that yet. I was living on the shaitan regime. I'll always have Islam. In my heart. I'll always have other religions in my heart. I'm a rainbow, motherfuckers. Now, can you be a theist and believe in other things? Well, I believe in God, but I don't rule out other faiths. There are many stepping stones to the end. How we get there doesn't really matter. Just be a fucking good person. Do what you do. Do to others what you would do to yourself. You want to be treated good? Treat others good. It's got karma, bitch. So, I'm just sitting here waiting for people to join. So I'm going to talk to myself. La 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 la. Talking to myself. La 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 la. Talking to myself. This is really annoying. La 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 la. Um, I'm like clueless about American elections. Like, when is your election, anyways? Why is it like? Why do you drag it on for so fucking long? Like, from state to state to state. You don't see the UK doing this. You don't see Australia doing this. You don't see like Japan or China or like Canada. We have our election. We have our little debate. We have our election. We move the fuck on. We got Trudeau, whatever the fuck his name is. He's better than Stephen Harper. I'll give him that. But he's not better than Jack Layton. There was a great man. Now God rest his soul. Jack Layton passed away a couple of years ago from cancer. He was the leader of the NDP. Now the NDP runs Alberta right now, and unfortunately, they're doing a shit poor job of running Alberta because the economy crashed when they took over, and it's bad timing for them, regardless. And I'm talking about Canadian politics, so you probably have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. But I'm gonna fucking talk about it anyways, because I don't fucking care if you don't know what I'm talking about, because I know what I'm talking about, because I'm Canadian, I'm fucking proud, motherfuckers, so peace out, motherfuckers. I'm not leaving, I just said peace. I know I'm swearing a lot, and that's fine. I'm happy to swear. It's my God-given right. But I swear only when it's inappropriate, when I feel like it. Sometimes I need to swear to get the point across. Sometimes you don't swear, like when you're around children or old people. Um, so on Saturday, I'll be 9 weeks clean and sober from any drugs or alcohol. I'm pretty pat myself on the back, fucking proud. And it's all thanks to NA, Narcotics Anonymous. Hi, my name is Lindsay and I'm an addict. Yeah, I go and I do that pretty much 5 days out of the week. So, yay for me, I found a program that works. Group therapy that actually fucking works for once. It actually works. It's my medicine. It works for me. I'm doing the steps. I'm working at it. I'm getting healthy. On the 19th. Oh yeah, this is like Lindsay's update on her life. On February 7th, I was admitted to Red Deer Regional Hospital to Unit 34, the psych ward. That's where I was, motherfuckers. I was going crazy! Yay! And believe me, on that ward, you do go crazy. All you have is time. Time. Priceless time. In that time, I found out I had sleep apnea. Since then, since discharge on March 10th, I was discharged. Bunto!
Hello. How long you been going on?
I was talking to Neo off air for about half an hour, and I've been on air for, I don't know, like 15 minutes, just talking to myself.
I've been there.
Talking to yourself?
Yeah. Through my memes. What's going on?
I was just updating people on the sleep apnea.
How's that doing?
It's okay. I have a BiPAP machine and I'm on oxygen 24/7.
Right. What time do you have to go to sleep at? 8?
I can go to sleep whenever the fuck I want.
You have to go to sleep at 8 o'clock every night, honey.
No, I don't.
And then you have to wake up at 5 every morning.
No, I don't.
It's called the working man. The working man's blues.
No! Man, that wouldn't work because I go to NA meetings and they run until like 9 and I don't get home till like 10.
How? Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah. Do you have to go to one tonight?
Yeah, at night.
N.A.
Na 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 na. So Neo was in here, and don't hate on him or anything because he's my friend.
I'm too lazy to hate on people.
But he was on Christian Anarchist's page, and he put up a poll, and his poll was, should Preach show her face or not? And because Neo put no, everyone jumped on him. Now, Neo's position was Pre doesn't have to show her face to get her point across.
Yeah, that's true.
Where everyone said that he was a jerk because.
Well, this is what I've heard through my little birds, is that these guys are creeping on Preet. All these theists, and so she doesn't want to show her face.
Of course they are, because they're all fucking pervs.
That's right. Anyway, so I feel bad because, I have empathy towards women, believe it or not, females.
I know you do. You're the best, Bunto. I love you.
I love you too. But then also think, like, let's suppose this girl was online and she says, I don't know, like, oh, I'll show my face, and then as soon as somebody says something bad, I'll just take it down. You know what I mean? Like, sort of like that mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all type idea or something. Then I'd be like, well, come on, honey. I mean, it's, no big deal either way, The reason people like seeing your face is so they can see if you're bullshitting or not, right?
Yeah. Like, I'm not on camera right now is because, I don't know. I don't really feel like being on camera. The lighting's really bad in the position I'm in. But I can go on camera if I want.
Everybody can see all my eye rolls and when I raise an eyebrow.
Yeah.
It's like I can't keep a poker face,
Me either. I turn beet red all the time.
Right? If somebody says something insane, it's like I have to show it.
Everyone can see how fucking fat I am.
Well, it's sort of like
the truth.
Don't you think it's like also the people that always are like bothered by the way people look, that there's something wrong with them? It's not so much what the other person's wrong, it's them. They are something's matter. Like, so maybe something's wrong with Neo if he's bothered by the way people look.
He's not bothered by the people. Everyone thinks that's what he thinks, but he's not. He was in the position of saying that she doesn't need to show her face to get her point across. She was doing a good job. Like,
it is true. You don't have to show your face.
He rarely shows his face.
Right. You don't have to show your face to get the point across. But, okay, the only time you really have to show your face is if you're getting into a relationship with somebody, like, let me characterize that. Like, if you're getting into some sort of romantic relationship with somebody, you probably should show your face. And if it's something of serious import, like, freaking really important, maybe you should show your face. Don't you think so? Like, if you're going to say, I'm going to reveal who shot JR or whatever, who stabbed Marco, show your face. Only if it's something really important, then I think it's pretty incumbent upon you to show your face.
What if you're blind, though?
Right, that's what I mean. If the other person's blind, don't matter. But I think if you're getting into a relationship with somebody, or if it's something that almost dire importance, maybe it is better to show your face.
Yeah, I think the fact that you can show, we live in we're in technology now that everyone has a webcam. Like, you can get a simulated webcam. It can be a piece of shit, but at least you have a fucking webcam. When someone says to me, I don't have a webcam, I know they're lying. Because everyone has a webcam.
Afraid of something. Like, let's say, like, you're going to get in a relationship with somebody and, it's getting really good. And then they, like, refuse to show their face. You have to, like, help them get over that hurdle. It's like, hey, I accept you. Right?
Yeah.
Get on. I want to see what you look like. I want to enjoy you by seeing you. So maybe, get on the webcam.
And then if they stop talking to you after they see what you look like, then they're not even even worth it.
But I've never known anybody who's done that. Oh, I saw the person and I freaking bugged off. I've never seen anybody like that.
That happens to me a lot.
I even talk to trannies too, I mean, it's sort of like, I almost, I have to tell the truth to people. It's like, sometimes with the tranny, they're so, what do you say? They're like so kind of gunshot. Some trannies, not, there's some very flamboyant ones that you have to say, hey, come on, you just show yourself in the face so I can see if you're for real, because you don't know if they're lying or not in a way. They'll tell you, I've been doing, like, this one tranny told me she was doing hormones for like a year or two. And then, I was just putting things together. And then I said, show your face. And she had a big, thick old mustache. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, that you're not on hormones, right? I mean, it was
Yeah.
like just a lie. She wasn't playing the part, passing. I know
But
that some trannies out there. Yeah, go ahead.
some people can't pass, even if they've been on hormones
Really?
and
But I
stuff
mean,
like that.
it was like a freaking, like out of Spinal Tap type mustache. You know what I mean? It was like a big, thick old mustache. It's like, well, honey, I didn't say anything. I was just, I just knew at that point that, everything she said was telling me was baloney.
Baloney.
Well, okay, that's it. You just don't want to get lied to, right, honey? You just don't want to be played by somebody who ain't going to get on cam.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, you don't have to show your face. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I don't show my face because, like the room is full and they're chatting among themselves. So I'll just, hide my face and just throw up my memes. Because, I don't want to be there looking bored, right? They're talking, everybody's there, and I'm looking bored as shit. I don't want to
Picking your nose.
No, but what they're doing to Preet is, I don't know what kind of, stability she's in, but, but she has to get used to people around here. I mean, the great debate community isn't, that real. Don't get so butthurt.
Yeah.
It's
just the fucking internet.
Right. People there's a lot of haters,
Oh, I know.
Hate. Like, I put up that meme today of her, and then she answered, I don't know, I'm confused if this is an insult or a compliment. And to me, it was like, well, you have to have proper form, dear. You have to learn that no matter whoever offers something, I just, and it struck me as like, wow, that's really poor form, but I just put down, sorry to confuse you, right? It's like if you gave somebody a gift, man, and they said, I don't know whether to accept this as a gift or an insult. It's sort of like, well,
even if it was an insult, you could take it as a gift.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe she thinks that there's some people that are so malicious they're going to effort a whole thing just for her. And it's sort of like, well, man, it's like, I'm too lazy to like even worry about sentimentality.
It's like, come on, man, you're not that important.
I just do think, and then plus, only how many people look at my feed? Like all of 3 people, right?
Well, I don't know who Preet is. I met her like once. I didn't talk to her directly. I was in the same hangout as her. I have been gone for some time, and when I was gone, she came. So,
she's a very single-minded person. Like, I've heard her talk. The only thing kind of criticism I have against her, she's a very bad microphone on her machine or whatever that she uses. She's very single-minded. She can't really expand off the trail. She's not accommodating sometimes. So that's the only thing that strikes me about her. Single-mindedness. If I told you that people were only one way.
Oh. Stop! Think about it.
Oh, that stuff's reversed. You got your cam set on reverse.
I don't fucking care.
It's upside down, too. It was hard. I was trying to read. That's it. Hold the other way down because it was upside down. Your cam's not right. There it is. Your camera is perfect. Things you can see, 4 things you can feel, things you can hear, things you can smell. What's that, attract?
It's grounding skills. If you're having a panic attack, you look at this motherfucker and you're like, 5 things I can see, 5 things I can feel, 3 things I can hear. And it should make you feel better because you're thinking about something else.
Okay, have you talked to Kiz lately?
I sent him a message after, oh man.
Because he says he gets all sorts of panic attacks.
I sent him a message yesterday after I talked to you saying, I heard you weren't feeling well, I hope you're feeling better. And he said, I'm doing a bit better.
I talked to him yesterday. I called his house, man.
Well, my date got canceled.
Your day or your date?
Date.
Oh, well. It's better than me. I wish I had a date to get canceled.
It's okay. She has a boyfriend. It wasn't gonna go very far. Just a fuck.
Gotta have money, man. Gotta have the Benjamins.
Uh,
Gotta hook a play up. Hook a
we have
play
the
up.
queen on our money. Gotta have those loonies.
Oh, man. I don't know. I'm just too lazy to, like, freaking ask people out and shit. Hey, do you want to go out? Do you want to, like, lift me to the car and drive me to the place? And I don't know. So you have, like, a lot of energy to ask somebody out?
Yeah. Oh,
You
I
don't
gotta
get
take this
nervous?
oxygen out.
Well, I mean, you get used to it, right?
My nose is getting sore though.
Yeah. Like, how come you don't have an oxygen mask? You just have that little tube?
Because I can't talk with the mask on.
Like, if you did a big huff off an oxygen mask, wouldn't that be like the same as just that little tube?
Well, I have a mask for when I sleep.
Oh, I see. Is it pretty good? A lot of air gets in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how I breathe at night. Probably fucked up.
I don't know why other motherfuckers aren't joining this room.
Well, it's
Fuck you.
afternoon, hon. No, they're all working or doing stuff. It's like Wednesday afternoon, so, they ain't going to show up till, evening hour.
Oh, so my timing bad.
Mm-hmm. They're
Oh
at
well.
work. They're at McDonald's and Taco Bell, Chipotle, serving the customer. And then what's his name? Pyong is out cutting yards.
I thought he was just
He's a
doing legal
landscaper.
stuff.
Well, now he's a landscaper too.
Oh yeah, for old people.
The guy who has the best job is Jeff Keller.
Jeff Keller. I love Jeff Keller. He's the best.
He works at some think tank.
Oh, does he?
I guess so. Some sort of thing. I don't know, but it's an important office job. And then my friend, my BFF Tim, is sick with pleurisy. So what can we do? I'll send him a message and see if he's up. Maybe he can come over. Hi, Tim. Answers the fucking message. Right? Okay, so like who else? Well, you have to put up with people like Neo because they don't have a job. They can just stay on all the time. People like Nadia, Neo, me.
Oh, I don't want to deal with Nadia.
But that's if you want to do an afternoon show, you got to deal with those people.
Oh, well, Neo was here earlier when I was offline, and I like Neo. And I like you.
Let me see what Tim's saying. What is your status, please? And let me see if he's going to say. You know what pleurisy is?
Me?
Yeah.
Pleurisy. No.
It's when your lungs fill with water and they scratch together and it really hurt.
Oh, who has that?
Tim. He says he's okay, but he's spending most of his time sleeping, of course, because he's in great pain.
Oh, bummer.
Okay. Good. I'm in a hangout. See what he says. Maybe he'll join, but he's gonna be all cranky.
Oh, a cranky one.
Well, I mean, if your lungs are filled with water, you'd be all bummed out. What about Sugar? Let me invite Sugar here.
Sure.
She blocked me.
Oh, why'd she block you?
She blocked the elevator. She's in Rob Beasley mode. She feels like there's a bully cartel after her.
Oh, she hasn't blocked me.
Well, yeah, send her a message. Say hi, sugar, and see if she'll come in.
She can't come in if she blocked you.
Well, maybe she'll unblock me just to get in. Can't you do
Nah,
that? Like, okay, you get to a hangout and somebody there who you blocked. Can't you unblock them and then be able to enter the hangout?
sometimes.
Because I
Someone
just
has
like
me
block everybody.
blocked in the Great Debate community. I can't figure out who the fuck it is,
Pat,
but
man.
it's not Pat Man. It's someone else.
Who would block you?
I don't know,
Somebody
but
who hates Muslims.
someone who hates Muslims or gays.
I'm gay, so it can't be me. Probably, let me see. Who would block you? I have no idea who would block you.
I don't know. I'm like the nicest person on G Plus, fuckers.
Yes, true. The only thing I got was Pat Man because Pat Man blocks everybody.
Pat Man knows I don't like him, so that's why. Like, Pat Man's so stupid. Like, come on. After I told him that I didn't like him, he added me to his circles. I'm like, I particularly don't like you as a person. It's
Wow,
nothing against you. It's just I don't like your character.
that's pretty ballsy.
Yeah, I have the biggest balls of them all.
What about? Have you seen Reuven and Gabriel and those guys?
Gabriel, I see post stuff all the time. Reuven, I see on Facebook, and J Dubs messaged me today on Facebook, gave me his number.
Well, that's Benny, isn't it?
No, it's not.
It's not Benny. You
I
tell me.
I've known J Dubs longer than Benny's been around.
So it's not Benny.
No.
Okay. How about Christian Anarchist and Christian Hillbilly?
They're not the same person either.
I know. I'm just clicking down the ad to the. How about Sid? Sid's cool.
Yeah, Sid. I don't know if he. Oh
He don't
yeah.
have a job, so he'll probably be around.
Ask.
Gretchen. Who's lovely atheist Catherine? I don't know. How about Mark Unoya and Shamos?
Seamus can go fucking suck a dick.
Wow. Everybody hates Shamos lately.
What's his own fault for being so stupid?
That's about it. Shanny. There, I had a whole bunch of people. I don't know who'll come in. Maybe Mark Unoya will. I see him there. I just see Christian Anarchist popped up and Mark Unoya. Now he left. And they both left, man. It's because of me. People won't come to your hangout because I'm here.
It's me, I think.
They're just too good for us.
Mm.
Well, we'll figure out what we're gonna have our next LGBT hangout about. What we already did the homosexual agenda, and what was the last one we had?
Trans lives matter.
Yeah, trans lives matter. What we can do is the southern something like, I don't want to say assholes, but southern, because all these southern states are passing anti-gay laws.
Yeah.
So something southern
Oh,
fried get homo hate. How about southern fried homo hate?
yeah. Southern fried human rights.
Yeah, okay, southern fried human rights. Okay, so I'll promo it, and when you want to have that hangout.
Saturday?
Okay, Saturday. Southern fried human rights.
Now that I'm kind of back on the community.
Saturday afternoon? Okay. Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, what time?
Well, what time is it at your time? Hi, Jeff. What time is it now? It's like
Oh,
4 o'clock
Jeff,
now.
the think tank man.
Hello.
Hey, Jeff, you had to explain something. I was in a hangout, and they told me I didn't understand anarchy.
Really?
And they said that people that claim to be capital, what's it called? Capital anarchist, or what's it called?
Anarcho-capitalists?
Anarcho-capitalists are oxymorons. And I said, there's anarchy is just anything goes, man, right?
I thought anarchy is like the lack of rules.
Yeah. Well, what anarcho-capitalists like to say is that anarcho-capitalism is not the absence of rules; it's the absence of rulers. So yes, but there are left-wing anarchists who are not don't favor property rights and stuff like that make them quite different from anarcho-capitalists. So I would say, I think whoever told you that was wrong. I don't. Well, I don't think anarcho-capitalism is an oxymoron. It just means free, voluntary trade instead of coerced or top-down or ruled trade. But it is a flavor of anarchy.
Flavor of anarchy. Okay, like you can have leadership in an anarchy, because that's what those guys are saying.
Yes, as long as it's voluntary, that's kind of the you can have all kinds of leadership and hierarchy, which we well, yeah, like we have, like if you go to the doctor's office, there's hierarchy. The doctor is the authority, and you do what he says because you're paying him to be the authority. It's voluntary, but he can't rule over you arbitrarily.
You added two people I absolutely loathe.
Well, I just kept clicking on the add button.
Oh my god, you added Christian Hillbilly. I hate Jim with a passion.
Jim?
And Hermine, I really don't like.
What happens if Jim came in here and he was like totally nice to you?
He wouldn't be nice because the minute I would see him, I would say, I'm a homo.
Right. He knows I'm gay and he talks to me. I mean,
he used to be on Nadia's hangouts all the time.
Jim is just a pro wrestler. He's just an act.
Pro wrestler.
Okay, so like a tribe, like a primitive tribe, would you call that anarchy, Jeff?
No, it's a primitive tribe is not anarchy because they have some sort of law to a degree.
Some sort of organization to make it run.
Yeah.
I would say if it's not a voluntary union, if people are held there against their will or they're not allowed to leave it, it would not be anarchy. But a voluntary society where they appointed people to make rules would be I would say within an anarchist framework, as long as it's a mutually agreeable union. I think an example of that would be like a homeowners association, of which I happen to belong, and actually am on the board of here.
Of course.
That's yeah. I'm the Ron Paul of the association. I say no to everything they want to do, but that's not entirely true. But anyway, it's a voluntary arrangement where disputes, you decide how disputes are going to be determined and resolved. That's what anarchy is. A lot of people think anarchy is like chaos, and that's not what we mean by it. Those of us who are anarcho-capitalists, at least.
What do you think, Lindsay?
I already told you what anarchy is. I don't really care, honestly. Jeff, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Getting better.
Tough times? Or
Yeah, sort of. I
oh, that's
make
too
things
bad.
tough for me
Oh dear.
because I don't understand a lot of the situations that happen with me, and I forget a lot of stuff. And then I make rash decisions, and then I cause drama in my life.
Hmm.
I caused the drama in my life, and then people's feelings get hurt.
Really?
Really.
So what have you been up to, Jeff? Jeff, I told everybody that you have a really important job at a think tank. Is that right?
No, that's totally wrong.
I don't know what he does for a living, Lindsay.
Okay.
I just know it's in an office.
It isn't an office. I'm a content editor for a large online and paper publisher of products, an information provider.
You fooled me, Bunto.
Well, I didn't know it. To me, if anybody who works in an office in Washington D.C. works at a think tank.
Yeah, and is usually doing evil. But in my case, no, I'm working for private enterprise, and I'm not involved directly in any evil behavior that I'm aware of.
Would you want to work at a think tank?
Yes. Just a second. Sorry.
Just getting a beer.
He has to
No,
feed his cats.
It's really hot. It actually would be stronger than a beer if I were getting something, but
Canadian beer.
oh, yeah, some think tanks I wouldn't mind working for. Some of the market-oriented ones, the free market, more libertarian ones. I would love to work for them.
Okay, like
the
if
right job.
Karl Rove wanted you to work for him for like $300,000 a year, would you do it?
I would certainly think about it. It would depend how. It would certainly depend. It would depend on what the nature of the position was. I mean, I know people who work for congressmen, and they try to sort of work inside the system and influence them with libertarian ideas and stuff like that. So, if it were an opportunity along those lines, I would consider it.
Money,
I don't
Jeff.
think I don't think it's anything I need to worry about having to think about, but
Okay.
Karl Rove is a particularly odious person, so that probably would not work out without a huge amount of money, at least. So
Let me see. Who is... Okay, People for the American Way. Would you work for them? I'm trying to think of like
no,
the most anti-libertarian position there is in Washington.
Oh my God, Bunto, stop trying to pick on Jeff. I can see that you getting all giddy inside because you have
'Cause
this
money,
shit-eating
huh?
grin on your face.
Yeah, I was being a little facetious about the money. No, I wouldn't work for Karl Rove. I
You
wouldn't
would
work
work
for
for
people.
$300,000, Jeff.
Well,
You'd be set, man.
that's like the joke, would you sleep with somebody for $1 million? Well, now that we've established that you're a whore, let's negotiate. But no, I was
Okay, well,
Lindsay,
first off, we already had this conversation in St. Tommy's room about the shit cookie. They said, would you eat a shit cookie for $21 million? And I said no.
for $21 million? One shit cookie?
I would not eat a shit cookie. The shit cookie was naughtiest shit cookie. And I said no. Because you cannot buy me.
Okay, let me explain this to you. Okay, you know that life is a finite thing, right? You're eventually going to die. We're all the same in the end, like Makepeace Thackeray said, right, Jeff? In the end, we're all the same, right? We're all dust.
Yeah.
So why not sell out for $21 million, if you can enjoy some of that money?
Okay, first off, money isn't fucking anything. A poor man can be richer than someone that has millions of dollars.
Jeff?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. how is the rich man? How's the poor man wealthier than the rich man?
through what he has.
Well,
He could
I
have
think
family. He could be happy. He could have happiness. He could have charity in his life. He could have so many other things.
Was it 21 million they offered you? That is a misery I could stand pretty well.
Aristotle, he said pretty much that happiness is the only thing that we pursue for its own sake. So anything else we pursue is a means towards that end. And yeah, you get to a certain point. They've done happiness surveys and stuff like that, and they're self-reported and maybe have some flaws, but they find that after a certain point, people don't get incrementally more happy because of the amount of money that they have, and it's not a large sum of money. It's less than $100,000, where people's overall happiness does not change. It's just one less problem that they have, but it may actually bring about other problems in other areas.
If that was so, why don't we have, wealth redistribution? If it's such a low amount to make people happy, let's have, a happier society by distributing the wealth.
Well, I don't know if that would make them. They're not saying that that the money is making them particularly unhappy, or that they would be happier if they gave away the money. They're just saying that the money doesn't make anybody more happier. But why you don't have redistribution of wealth? Because theft is a crime. It's a crime that we all
Okay.
recognize.
Okay, wouldn't you rather live in a happier society, though, Jeff?
Yes.
So, our answer is wealth redistribution.
No, it's not.
Well, if robbing a bank makes somebody happier than they were before they robbed the bank,
I'm happy when I do drugs. It
does that
doesn't
mean
mean
I
that
want to live in a society where everybody robs each other? No.
Okay, we have 10 people, and one person is happy with the amount of money they have, but we realize that they cross the threshold at a very, insignificant amount of their money, so why shouldn't they, distribute the rest of their wealth to make the other people happy?
Well,
Let's say you have a blind person, and you have two people with eyes. You could take an eye from one of those persons forcibly and give it to the blind person.
But we know that the eye doesn't work that way.
Well, okay, the kidney, whatever you want to choose. I think actually eye transplants do work in some cases, but
no, they don't.
if
They've
you
been
want to say,
unsuccessful.
all right, well, let's say a kidney then. You've got two kidneys, so why shouldn't I forcibly take your kidney and give it to somebody who would need a kidney? They would be happier, and you would probably not be as unhappy as if you had no kidneys. So there you go. I mean, where do you draw the line?
If he had no kidneys, he'd be dead.
or
Okay,
in permanent dialysis.
We know that a lot of processed foods are damaging towards the human kidneys, right? That we allowed people to eat in our society.
Right.
So aren't you basically destroying their kidneys by allowing them to make this, food products and distribute them? Isn't Bloomberg right having a soda tax so people won't destroy their kidneys anymore with sugary products?
No, he's not right. People are adults, and we don't live in a state of absolute health where all we do is avoid disease. We make payoffs, risks, and benefits. And some people enjoy smoking more than the risks, or they think they do at least. Some people enjoy consuming fatty foods more than others, and if you try to prevent them from doing that, you're a thug.
A thug. Okay, as Benny says, we should
If you use force,
those
I should say.
foods for bad people in prison because we know they're bad. Right? Okay, you're fine with letting people eat.
Oh, we don't
bad
know they're
food.
bad necessarily. The U.S. has almost 25% of the prison population in the world, and only about 5% of the actual population. We've also found that a lot of people in prison were put there wrongly, especially since DNA evidence has revealed that in so many cases. So we don't know that they're guilty.
Well, I'm talking about not necessarily,
Or that they're bad.
some points there about our prison system, but I'm talking about, the things that we allow in our society that we know are bad. You're against wealth distribution. Okay, let's So that
Okay, if we're going to talk about things that we allow in our society that's bad, then we're going to talk about the really bad stuff. Why do we allow the Vatican to abuse children? Why do we allow teachers to abuse children? Why do we allow people to abuse children, yet they get minimum charges in prison?
Well, actually, honey, they really get. Look at what happened to this Jared Fogle guy. Now, did you see that they're hunting after him in the minimum security prison? I've been following Jared Fogle's saga. You know who Jared Fogle is, Jeff?
Yeah, the subway guy.
Spokesman who got 15-year stint, I believe, or was there even more longer than 15 years? 15 years mandatory, I think. But anyway, they know that he's like, he's for sure. They know he's a child molester, so the other prisoners are on the hunt for him.
Wow.
Beat him up.
Okay.
But
what
anyway,
about we live in a society where children are so bullied so bad that they resort to suicide at the age of 10,
Right.
11, 12?
Should we have policemen, marching up and down our high school hallways?
No, we should have social workers.
Should we have people with machine guns walking around the park?
We should have private schools or maybe homeschools.
Oh my God, Jeff.
Hip-hop is the cause of that too, bullying.
Okay, we have too much bullying in our society. You agree, Jeff, that we live in a police state of bullying?
Yeah, most of it's government bullying, but there is some private bullying or people acting in a government-like manner, as Walter Block says.
I was bullied as a youth. If I didn't stand up for who I am now, I would still be bullied on the internet.
That's terrible, honey, and I was bullied too. So that is is that the main problem in America right now?
Where did this bullying occur? Yeah, in a public government school.
Well, I mean, even in the private school, there's bullying there. Bullying is not,
private schools are allowed to kick people out if they don't conform. The government schools, for some reason, they're.
They kick people out of the government schools. They expel them.
Well, they send them to other schools. Yeah, they do expel them for a short period of time, but they still are. It's mandatory to quote educate them, unquote.
Well, do you think it's like one of America's #1 problems, Jeff? Bullying?
I don't think it's a #1 problem.
It's not just America.
I mean, it depends how you define it. I think America bullies the rest of the world. Its government does.
Okay.
I think its government bullies people. So it depends what you mean by it. If it's using force against other people to get them to act against their will, I think it is a serious problem, but it's not confined to playgrounds. It's pervasive throughout our adult life too. We're bullied into giving half of our income to this Leviathan, these federal mobsters, and bullied into supporting military adventures and invasions all over the world, and droning people, killing innocent people that way, people who aren't even declared combatants. So yeah, if you define it that way, yes, bullying is one of the major problems.
So what do you think the solution is, Jeff?
Less monopoly on force, less concentration of power, of force. The less, the better. A non-interventionist, not just foreign policy, but domestic policy as well.
So you think we should disband our police force?
Leaving peaceful people alone. Yeah, I would favor a private voluntary police, not a
private voluntary police force?
Yeah. Probably multiple ones that would compete with one another for excellence.
Not all government-based police forces are corrupt. The RCMP is doing fine in Canada.
I can't speak to that.
Well, not everything revolves around America, motherfuckers. You have a Canadian in the room. Fuck you. It's Canada time.
Isn't Canada like the U.S.'s hat?
Yeah.
For our bald spot.
We're your brain, you dumb fuck.
Wow. Now that's bullying. Okay, would you consider that bullying, Jeff? Somebody talking to you that way in a hangout?
Didn't Homer Simpson call Canada, America, Junior.
American Junior. Hey,
Whopper
we burned down
Jr.,
your first White House.
Whopper Jr. Okay, have you been bullied in a hangout, Jeff?
Just by Lindsay.
Yes, right now.
Yeah.
So, when you get bullied in a hangout? What do? I mean, do you flee or do you stand up to the bully or what?
I'm pretty impervious to it. I just kind of recognize it for what it is and feel probably just as bad for the person who's doing it as myself. It usually is a confession on that person's part that they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they're insecure.
And I feel a little bit of sympathy for them. One thing when people laugh at me is I have trouble. I mean, when they're yelling at me, rather, I have trouble not laughing because I don't know, for some reason I tend to find it funny when people are losing it for no good reason or because they've hit a wall in their own inability to communicate.
What do you think, Lindsay?
If I'm being bullied?
Well, yeah. Well, what do you do when you get bullied?
When I get bullied, I lose my temper and I get that ginger rage.
Right.
And I usually swear or punch that person out. But that is not the way to do it. You should show that person with respect and usually talk the way out. Like I told my cousin, my mom told me to never start a fight, but you finish the fight. Go to the door, you stupid cat. Around. Go around.
I don't think cats understand commands. All right, so you choose to de-escalate with a bully, right? Any of you guys don't surrender to the bully's, demands. Is appeasement work, Jeff? Appeasing the bully.
I think the most effective thing is either ignoring or laughing at the bully, not letting them, manipulate you into. I'm sorry, Lindsay. I don't think you. I think you should try not to lose it. I think when you lose it, you have really lost because.
Yes, I know.
That other person gets better of you. Yeah, they get under your skin. It's happened to me, but I've never felt victorious when it has. I just say, well, okay, you're going. People call me all kinds of names, and I'm like, what's your argument?
In the hospital, they tell you to, if someone is picking on you or being rude to you, to be assertive, to stand your ground and
face the bully.
Face the bully.
Tell them, I know what you're doing.
In a calm stance.
Exactly.
And I try to do that, but it's hard.
Yeah, it is difficult.
But I'm not entirely stable. I'm crazy.
You don't strike me as
We
crazy.
love you, Lindsay. Anyway.
I actually have a mental disorder, though. I'm not using that as a crutch. I'm just saying I actually do have a disorder. I do struggle with it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, to some degree, we all do. We struggle with our emotions and our.
Is bullying a disorder?
I'm not a bully, fucker.
I'm not saying you, Brainiac. I'm saying, is bullying a
Brainiac?
Right? I think bullying is a disorder. Don't you think so, Jeff? That a person has compelled to strike out all the time, some sort of disorder.
That's called conduct disorder.
Conduct disorder.
Lack of authority.
I don't know. I sort of hesitate to medicalize or behavior. I think people we grow up in a variety of different circumstances, and for some people they may determine that is the way that they can best assert themselves and control other people, and that's what they should do. So I don't like to medicalize it. I think people can make choices about their behavior.
Well, like alcohol abuse, that's a disorder, right?
Alcohol negatively affects the body and the brain, but I don't know how.
I thought drinking was a disorder, like drinking problem.
Well, it's what you drink.
It's not a disorder, it's a disease. There's a difference.
That's even worse.
I don't even know that it's a disease, really. A disease, any other kind of a disease, is something that for which the cure is not, well, just stop doing that. It's more like, well, something has invaded
But you
your
always
body.
live with the desire to want to do it.
Well, we live with a desire to want to do a lot of things. Some of them are destructive, and some of them aren't. So I don't. I just have a issue with medicalizing a lot of behaviors. I think people get in the habit of drinking. It's a way of unwinding, and it's a way of not addressing problems. And I don't know that that's medical in origin. But it becomes a habit, and it becomes something that is destructive to your life or causes you problems, then it's problematic, but I don't know that it's actually a disease in the proper sense of the term.
Okay, they give you disability if you got a disease, right, in America? So, I mean, do people say they're alcoholics and get disability that way? I don't think so.
Well, I think there's all kinds of bogus ways to get disability checks. I don't think that's anything people fake.
I thought you had a disease to get disability.
Yeah, well,
Disabled.
the American Psychiatric Association has been medicalizing and adding syndromes and just basically behavioral things left and right. So, yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe you probably can use alcoholism to get a disability, a government check. I mean, everybody gets a government check for something.
No, I don't. I wish I got a government check for something, Jeff.
Well, have you ever been on unemployment or, you know?
No, I've never been on unemployment, actually.
You're going to get Social Security, right?
Yeah, unless I die, I get hit by a bus.
Right.
Nah, not everybody's on the
Don't
dole.
you have treaty status, Bunto? Because you're Sioux?
People ask about that, but the thing is, I'm too lazy to go investigate all that shit. And then I
Oh,
also
you
wonder
lazy
if I go,
bum.
Well, maybe
if I
that's
go
a
down the
disorder.
rabbit hole. Right, laziness. Maybe
That's
if
a
the
disease.
American psychotic for laziness is a disorder, I could get a check.
We should accommodate the lazies and fill out the forms for them.
Okay, so you have a bigotry against people who are disabled, right, Jeff?
Bigotry. Well, there's a power.
Bunto, you should know I talked about you
Yeah.
last night in my program.
Oh, really? What'd you say?
I said
He's the
that...
best interviewer on.
No, I talked about how you said that you're coming up to a year being, you know,
Yeah.
like sober and clean.
Actually, it's been over a year. I stopped
Over a
by
year.
Yeah.
And you have never been to a program, but...
In the program. So what do you think of that, Jeff? I have not taken the dole and just stopped on my own initiative.
I
Good
think
for you.
that's laudable.
Shouldn't I be rewarded? Some sort of tax credit?
Well, you're just saying.
What is the use of tax credits,
Well,
Jeff?
if you just listen to what you said, I've not taken any rewards, so shouldn't I be rewarded for that?
A tax credit. Okay, Jeff, isn't tax credits the biggest hooey that they ever devised in America?
Well,
Giving you a tax
no,
credit.
a tax credit is when the government steals less of your money than they otherwise would. So no, it's
It's
your
sort of
money.
like,
Yeah.
I'll take less of your money. That's what a tax
It's
credit
like
is, right?
it's like, I got a refund. You know, it's like, no, the government held your money, more money than they think that they're entitled to, and they just gave it back to you. How's that some kind of a gift or manna from heaven?
Okay, well, what should the government give back instead of tax credits? I mean, if we had no income tax, how does the government instill any sort of civic participation, Jeff?
Well, before 1916, there was no. I'm sorry, 1913. There was the 16th Amendment. Before that, there was no national income tax.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay, they want to build a dam in a strategic place. How does the government do it? Just ask for donations or what? They can't tax.
There's nothing in the original Constitution about building dams that I'm aware of.
Well, I mean, you don't understand the idea of building a dam in a strategic.
No, if somebody needs a dam, it should be done by private enterprise.
Okay, but dams are pretty costly. Let's suppose that this
Right.
dam will be at the top of a state that will help other states. I mean, why should it be all incumbent upon that one state to build a dam? How are they going to get the other states to contribute?
Well, here's the other side of it. If the dam is uneconomic, then and the area is not sustainable or economic to live in, why do you want to encourage people to live in a desert? What if the water is prohibitively expensive to get to, and there is no economic support for that area, then people should not be encouraged to live there. They should live elsewhere where there is a more of an abundance of resources.
But we
So,
know
no,
that okay, Jeff, we have technology. I mean, we have to utilize technology in order to better our, society and our standard of living. So, I mean, how can we, get people to contribute to a society that wants to better itself without taxes?
People contribute to society voluntarily all the time. The computer industry has not only made people consumers happier with home products and stuff like that, but it's made our capital value as employees and entrepreneurs much better just because of voluntary cooperation, not because of some do-gooder saying this has to happen. But when we exchange freely, there are spillover benefits all the time, and it's rampant and legion. It's not just theoretical. The guy who invents the car or the truck did so mainly because they were selfish and they liked to make money, or maybe they took pride in what they did. But helping humanity is probably way down on their list of priorities. But nonetheless, they help people in ways that you don't know. Like, look at Facebook now. Facebook is working on a technology that will analyze images and describe them to blind people. I mean,
that's good.
What politician could come up with that? Even the idea of doing that, much less make it happen.
You have a point there. Okay, I just want to tell our listeners, if they're just watching, Lindsay left, so we only got like 5 minutes left. All right, Jeff. Okay. Let's say you drive to work, right, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay, you drive to work, and there's a rumor going around town that there's a drunk driver driving at the same time you are, right? Aren't you glad you have a police force there that can arrest the guy before he kills you? Right? I mean, isn't that the point of community?
Where is the data that shows how many lives were saved because of police? I would argue actually that the drunk driving laws make us make driving more dangerous, because let's say you were drunk and you made the unfortunate decision to drive yourself home. Under the current laws, it's so catastrophic to be caught doing that you have to actually pretend like you're sober. So if you go less than the speed limit, or maybe even go the speed limit, you're a suspect. So you have to pretend like you're sober and drive at the speed. Whereas if you knew you were drunk and I really shouldn't drive, but I need to get home and I don't know how to get, I don't have the Uber app. You could drive with with your flat hazard lights on and all of this, and people would pass and they'd know that there was some situation there that they should avoid. And
first off,
yeah.
What jumps to my mind is the level of personal responsibility that the drunk has in the first place. I don't think he's going to be turning on his hazards and trying to make the best of it. I'm sure he just wants to drive drunk home.
Well, the incentives aren't for him to do that.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily incentives, Jeff. I think it's just the guy's irresponsible. This is a drunk who's going to drive. But you're happy that you have a police force to arrest the guy before he kills you, see?
I don't want anybody arrested for pre-crimes, and no, I think it's an invasion to pull people over. And I mean, if they're driving recklessly, then yes, they are endangering people demonstrably. But to pull people over randomly and check their blood, and that to me is an enormous invasion, and it's devastating for people. It costs them thousands of dollars. People have never hurt anybody. Have to go through this gauntlet, and no, I think it's horribly unjust.
But you can admit that you see some utility to having a police force, right? Crime deterrence.
Yeah, dispute resolution and stuff like that. Now, I think roads should be privately owned, and I think the owners of the roads should be responsible for making people safe. If they were privately owned, I don't think any private industry could afford any kind of enterprise where there are 40,000 deaths per year. So I think if private industry were owning roads, not because they're so enlightened, but it would be in their self-interest to have various safety measures. Maybe if somebody's drunk, you get in the car and you give them a lift somewhere and send them a bill, or you do these more peaceful and humane ways of dealing with these kinds of problems. Insurance companies would not want to insure a highway that was like these government roads where there's so many fatalities and deaths and stuff like that. They put a traffic light in after there have been so many fatalities.
Okay, you don't like centralized bureaucracy, right?
No, but I don't like it because it's ineffectual and there are just perverse incentives. It can't be right, and you don't even know what right or wrong is when you have a monopoly on a certain enterprise, because people can't vote with their dollars, with their approval. They can't withdraw from it if they think it's not run well. Somebody else can't do a hostile takeover and take it over and run it over correctly.
Right.
So it's not that I mean, it's a bureaucracy is an abstraction, a government for that matter.
But
it's not that I hate them. I just think that when you put things, and we put the most important things in charge of the institution, into the realm of the institution